So welcome to this impressive Eco Power Arena for this thrilling championship clash between Doncaster and the Bradford Bulls. It is West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, syndicated coverage on Bulls TV, and this highly anticipated clash expected to draw one of the largest crowds of the season here at the Eco Power Arena. Doncaster coming off the back of back-to-back wins over Halifax and London, so they're filled with confidence of hunting a first win over Bradford since 1973. Bradford in South Yorkshire, unbeaten in their last 6. They're looking to keep the chase and keep the pressure on league leaders Toulouse. We think this one is going to deliver. Strap yourselves in, we might go the distance. Last season here, we very nearly did, and it is Doncaster with first use of the ball, and they're already 15 shy of halfway in a centre field position. Lawrence and Suter, the markers. Burns goes out of acting half. Riesling's coughed the ball up. It's an early error here, and that was Logan Bayliss who put a hand in there on Riesling, and the ball's come out of Riesling's possession. And Bradford, very early in this game, they've got an opportunity to trouble this Doncaster line. They've got possession here with James Donaldson, who's gone down a little bit gingerly. He's saying it's head contact. He's taken a strained knee to the head. He's also got a bit of an ankle problem as well. So Scott Michalauskas, the match official from Wigan, he will stop the clock here. We've had 45 seconds gone, so we've had barely chance to blink, and already James Donaldson is down, and that will require the Bulls physio, Bulls doctor, to come on the field. So Bradford, they have the ball, 35 out, centre field from the Doncaster line, and Scott Michalauskas, the former Super League referee, he stepped down from the Super League in 2022 to go part-time, citing his police career. That probably leaves Scott Michalauskas as the most experienced championship match official, and he's been given another big game this afternoon. It's the third time he's in the middle. He did Batley away in the 1895 Cup, which was pure chaos and anarchy, and also Halifax away in round 7. So he's used to dealing with these high pressure situations, and this is not a good sign for Brian Noble, Lee Greenwood. James Donaldson's led from the field inside the opening minute, so that means Sam Hallis will have to come off the interchange bench, and already as Keith Senior puts the warm coat on James Donaldson, it looks like James Donaldson's afternoon could be over here. We don't want to tempt fate, but James Donaldson has left the field inside the opening 60 seconds, and now Lilly's moved the ball to Fulton, and Fulton has dropped the ball in a collision between Jacob Jones and Brad Knowles. So an early error apiece before this game has really got going this afternoon. We've had just shy of 2 minutes gone on the clock. It is Doncaster 0, Bradford 0. Doncaster no win against Bradford in that summer era. Their last win was in 1973. Bradford, they helped Doncaster set that attendance record back in 2018 when nearly 3,000 fans were here to see Bradford win 32 points to 6. Bradford have come a long, long way since then. Doncaster 5 shy of the halfway line now with Greg Burns. They're going to move it over on this main stand side here with Jacob Jones, the former Widnes London Lehman, and he's 2 metres inside the Bradford half of the field. It's Bayliss and Fulton, the two Australians in those marker defences, as we see Sui Matagi, the former New Zealand Warrior. He's made 15 metres up to the Bradford 30. Here we see Connor Robinson moving it over on this left-hand side, and Wonga Blake there very, very nearly forcing Briscoe over the touchline. Edine Gebbet, more on him later. He had to come across and stop going into touch. Tackle 4 and Doncaster kick early, but Guy Armitage is on hand to deal with that early kick. Tackle 1 for Bradford. Tackle 2 with Kieran Gill. We mentioned it pre-match. Ockimbo, Blake, Gill, Armitage. 27 tries from that ring three-quarter line out of Bradford's 78 for the season. Bradford now with Suter and acting half in centre field with Lawrence to Keys. Good movement from Keys to G. G, a half chance on that left side. Riesling comes across and closes up Matty G, and he's put a bit of pressure on the back of Matty G's neck here, and Matty G has now gone down. Referee Scott Michalauskas will stop the clock, and if Matty G has to leave the field here, Tyra Knott might be about to be activated as an 18th man. It would only be Tyra Knott's 5th appearance of the season. Matty G is now being seen to by the Bradford Bulls physio and medical staff. The clock has been stopped here. So 4 minutes on the clock. Doncaster 0, Bradford 0. Bradford have already lost James Donaldson, and Matty G will get the all clear. So a huge collective relief there for Brian Noble and Lee Greenwood. Bradford playing the ball, 10 shy of halfway. It's now going to go out of acting half now to Hallis. Hallis wrapped up there by Burns, McConnell, also Knowles. 3 hungry Doncaster defenders. Bradford on halfway on the last. The sun comes from behind the clouds as Keys kicks towards the corner. Luke Briscoe happy to let that one roll into touch on the far stand side, and it will be a play the ball here to Doncaster just outside their own 20-metre line. Well, Doncaster in 2025, they have been a little bit inconsistent in their second season back in the Championship, but they're looking to make it 3 wins in a row and potentially, depending on what happens elsewhere, make the playoffs or be in the playoffs for the first time this season. So the rain has subsided here as we see Adine Gebbet get to his feet. He'll play the ball, and a big strong carry now from Sui Matage, and he's brought down 5 shy of halfway in a centre field position. 5 minutes gone on the clock, scoreless here. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, as Bradford defend over on that left hand side, looking to stop Sam Smeaton, the former Bartley Halifax man, from offloading the ball, and now Sam Smeaton's gone down and he's holding the neck. So referee Scott Michalauskas is going to stop the clock here. Well, we built this one up as being an absolute box office blockbuster, a Royal Rumble of sorts. Perhaps the Royal Rumble and Survivor Series merged into one, but we've had 6 gone on the clock, and already we've had 3 question marks over players. This time it's a Doncaster player who's getting the medical review, medical treatment. It's looking like he will be okay to continue. The Doncaster doctor says thumbs up. So Sam Smeaton, the 36-year-old, he scored a try here last Sunday in that 30 points to 12 win over the London Broncos, and Doncaster now a 40 out from the Bradford line as play continues here with Burns to Sui Matage. He's wrapped up there by Lawrence Bayliss, also Fulton. They're on the last tackle here. It'll be Craig Hall, the former Hull FC, Hulkington Rovers man, targets Armitage in the in-goal area, and Armitage is away here. Armitage to the 20, and Armitage, who jumped from the field of play there. I think Bradford thought it was going to be an extra tackle on the set, but Scott Michalauskas saying he's jumped from the field of play. So we're on tackle 2 now with Ockenbaugh. Jaden Ockenbaugh's 15th appearance of the season. He's just missed 2 thus far, and that's a good strong carry here from Michael Lawrence, 15 metres, just shy of halfway now as Suter goes up and over halfway, finds the support, and Bradford could be going in here with Meadows, who juggles the ball. He's still going. Meadows is in front of the post, and he's finally dragged down there in a dangerous tackle by Craig Hall. He has gone above the shoulder blade right in front of the post. Meadows screaming there at the touch judge. He thinks that should be 10 minutes in the bin. Scott Michalauskas will just say to Connor Robinson, it will just be a penalty in front of the post. There's boos and jeers from the Bradford supporters behind the post. Bradford don't go for 2 points here. We've had 7.5 gone on the clock. What a great run that was from Meadows, straight through the heart and soul of the Doncaster defence. And now here goes Keys. Keys floats it out. Bradford, chance with Blake. Blake's in at the corner. Wonga Blake's got the ball down. Try 7 of the season. One of Bradford's 4 ever presents. And the Fijian flyer on appearance 17 of the season Doncaster were stretched. They were too compact. They were too congested in the centre of the field. And it was a lovely looped ball from Keys over the top, missing out Fulton. And if truth be told, there was nobody at home. There was no Brad Hay. There was no Luke Briscoe. And it was a chance for either Blake or Eva Ockenbaugh. Eva could have scored. We've had exactly 8 minutes gone on the clock, and that is just the perfect tonic. Bradford's 79th try of the season. Wonga Blake 7th. And the man who made 88 appearances, scoring 34 tries for Penrith Panthers back in his NRL days over the course of those 5 seasons with the Chocolate Soldiers. He has got Bradford's opening points, and it's fair to say he's also got 9 try assists. Well, when I spoke to Wonga Blake before the season started, he said he wants to be the Championship's best centre, and he's certainly proven his worth here. Jordan Lilly, who was 6 from 6 last weekend against Widnes, kick predictor turned on, 72%. That one's caught the wind. It's going to cross the face of the post. It is waved away by the officials, but Wonga Blake has lit up the Eco Power Arena Stadium here, scoring Bradford's first points of the afternoon. Try 7 of the season. And you've got to say, that was all down to James Meadows. He was the right place, right time. And as we said, Bradford forced to make one change with Luke Hooley picking up a knock late on this week in training. James Meadows, incidentally, playing fullback for the first time since August 2023, when he was a fullback for the Batley Bulldogs in a win over the Sheffield Eagles. So if you are just joining us, Doncaster get the restart back underway. We've had 10 gone on the clock here. It is West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, syndicated coverage for those watching on Bulls TV, and it is Fulton who is going to be met there by Hay and Gebbe and Robinson, just shy of the 30-metre line. And here goes Mitch Suter, who's trying to up the tempo, control and dictate the speed and pace of this game. Up to halfway for Suter, 20-metre run out of acting half. Bradford will just lose a little bit of momentum here as Bayliss runs into some very heavy Doncaster forward defence. That means Keys is going to kick early after points on tackle 4. They will turn around a Dean Gebbe, who has been a try-scoring sensation here for Doncaster. 10 tries in 11 appearances, and the former PNG Hunters Whitehaven man has been caught high by Wonga Blake. So it is a penalty to Doncaster, their first of the afternoon, and it remains Doncaster 0, Bradford 4. So a relieving penalty for Richard Horn and Doncaster. It will be Craig Hall who kicks the ball up to halfway, and full set, you're going to say, in that half for the first time for Doncaster here. So it will be Brad Hay, the former Batley Hunslet man. Had 4 seasons with York, you might remember, a couple of years ago, and certainly featured in a few of those York-Bradford classics. So Hay taps it, brought down by Lawrence and Fulton. Brad Nowell's tackle 2. Doncaster 10 inside the Bradford half here, as Watson Boas links with Hall, and they've come up with an error on that right-hand side here with Reece Link. That's Doncaster's 3rd error in this first half, and that will not please Richard Horn. But what do we have here? Has the advantage been played? Because Bradford have recovered possession. They've gone into touch on the far stand side. Scott Michalauskas is going to say there was no advantage, no real benefit of Bradford having that loose ball. And that was Kieran Gill and Armitage alongside Matty G, forcing Reece Link to come up with Doncaster's 3rd error. So it's Doncaster 0, Bradford 4. 12 gone on the clock here at the Eco Power Arena Stadium. Tackle 1, Guy Armitage, 10 shy of halfway. Suter out of acting half here to Hallis. Hallis up to halfway. Tackle 2, centre field. Now it's going to be Logan Bayliss. Good defence there from Jacob Jones. He went straight for the legs of Bayliss and felled him like a lumberjack. in the Canadian rainforest, and now Bradford all of a sudden just generating that momentum as Keys takes the line on and enters the 30. Now to Lawrence, to Lily back on the inside to Fulton. Fulton's gone through a big gap, and Zach Fulton is going to score around and underneath the post. That is eye-catching rugby league football from the Bradford Bulls. Zach Fulton, he's gone 30 metres through the middle of a very congested Doncaster Central Reservation, and that has really lit up the big 1,200 or so Bradford fans who've travelled down to be here in South Yorkshire this afternoon. That was something out of nothing, and you've got to say Joe Keys taking the line on, gets Bradford centre field 30 out, quick play the ball. We mentioned it last week. Suter controlling the ruck, the speed of the game, up in the tempo. Doncaster simply could not cope with that tempo, that pace, that control, that dominance from the Bradford Bulls. And Fulton, try number 5 of the season. And we've mentioned this a few times on the radio. He is the first third generation NRL player, with his dad Scott and his granddad, the immortal Bob, to play in the NRL. Underneath the post, kick predictor at 100% here. Lily on point, on target. Doncaster 0, Bradford 10. 13 minutes gone on the clock. It's West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, Bulls TV with all the syndicated coverage. Well, we spoke to Brian Noble on Wednesday and his expectations for this afternoon. Brian said, there's 15 rounds, 14 games to go. Brian Noble wants his side to approach each game on a game-by-game basis, not entertaining any talk at this stage of the season of catching Toulouse or getting above Toulouse. The expectations for this game today are simple. The message is that it's important that the side simply turn up each week between now and the playoffs in October and try to develop, try to learn, try to get better as a side. So Bradford on the restart here. They're moving the ball and spreading it with Meadows. Meadows wrapped up by Hay. Tackle 2, Bradford already up to their own 30-metre line. Ockingmore acting half, now to Blake. Blake tries to bust through Jones and Knowles, and he's 5 shy of halfway here on 3. Suter to Lawrence down this left-hand side, and Bradford already 5 inside the Doncaster half of the field, and it's going to go to Meadows, who puts a high-hanging kick in. That will ask questions of Craig Hall, who takes that one from the clouds. And Hall is wrapped up just outside his own 20-metre line. So we've had 15 minutes gone on the clock here. 2 early tries to the Bradford Bulls, just like they did last weekend against Widnes. The lead 10-0 here after Blake and Fulton have breached the Doncaster line. Doncaster now just trying to counteract this tempo and pace and speed that Bradford are playing this game at, as Burns now to Robinson. Robinson decides to go straight down the middle here with Louis McConnell, who's wrapped up 5 inside the Bradford half of the field on tackle 4. So McConnell will get to his feet, he'll play the ball. Burns to Robinson, to Matagi, and the former New Zealand Warrior, who's had international spells with the Kiwis in Samoa, plays it on what is now the last. Robinson under pressure from Fulton, but gets the kick away. Meadows takes it 5 away from his own line. He's wrapped up there by Burns and Jones. Tackle 1, Bradford back in possession in this first half. Incidentally, Bradford playing left to right as you watch on the screen towards the Bradford supporters who are here once again in record numbers. Big crowds on the road following the Bulls in 2025 as Ronan Michael comes on off the interchange. That's Bradford's second interchange of the afternoon. We know what Ronan Michael can bring to proceedings, and now Bradford looking for a 40-20 with Jordan Lilly. Jordan Lilly, has he got the bounce of the ball? Well, it's going to go back into the in-goal area. Craig Hall nearly slipped on the lush turf. Can he be trapped in goal? He won't be. but he's literally millimetres on his own try line, and there's no Doncaster players back, and there's a chance here for Eddie Ngebe to be trapped in goal, but there's only Lillian Meadows there. If you had another forward, I think Eddie Ngebe goes back in the in-goal area. But look at this defence, the red shirts of the Bradford Bulls. Doncaster on tackle free here, the 5 out from their own try line. The supporters responding with the oohs, the ahs and the cheers, and they're on tackle 4 now, and there's still 10 out from their own try line, Doncaster, as they now go out of acting half here from Watson Bowers, and Bowers makes 10 valuable metres. They're on the last tackle, so they're going to kick from deep inside their own half here, with Connor Robinson, the former Halifax Yorkman, boot to ball, does find space. It's an almighty booming kick. Ockenball's going to take that from inside his own 10, and credit to Doncaster, Richard Horn will be relatively pleased with that kick chase effort, because Jacob Jones and Brad Hay have tackled Ockenball 15 out from his own try line. Meadows tackle 2 on Bradford's 20-metre line. Centre field, Lily acting half, finds Armitage over on that left hand side. You've got to say, after those first couple of errors early in this game, there's a very, very clean championship spectacle taking place here. Very, very fast, very, very frenetic. Kieran Gill, incidentally, has left the field for Ronan Michael, and it's looking like Kieran Gill has an injury issue. So Fulton, that's Zach Fulton, he's now playing centre. So Brian Noble will be pleased and delighted with Bradford's effort and application, as Lily on the last targets Eddie Ngebe, and Eddie Ngebe has come up with another error here, and Bradford, well, the officials have missed the knock on there from Eddie Ngebe, and they're playing to the whistle, and here goes Watson Bowers to Craig Hall, and Bradford now have to scramble back. There was a hesitancy there. Everyone thought it was going to be a knock-on. Certainly put that one under the microscope. But here goes Robinson to Hay. Doncaster have Bradford stretched on this left-hand side. I was just saying the impact of losing Donaldson and Gill to injuries might come and bite Bradford as this game progresses, as we see Tyler Heppy, who's just come off the interchange for the Dons, and the 5 metres out now from that Bradford try line. We've got 18 gone in this game. Set restart conceded by the Bulls, and Doncaster now, it's incessant blue and gold pressure on the Bradford line. It'll go to Burns, to Boas, to Hall, to Lynn. Lynn gets the ball out the back door to Briscoe. Briscoe's got the ball down in the corner. Scott Michalauskas, he's going to point the finger, and he says Briscoe has got the ball down. It's that makeshift wing-free quarter left edge with Kieran Gill off injured. It's Fulton and Armitage. They tried their best to stop Luke Briscoe. He scored a first half try in this fixture last year, and exactly with 20 minutes gone on the clock, he's done the same again. And you've got to say, the kick from Lily on the last 15 inside the Doncaster half, it bounced. It was very, very clear that Eddie Ngebe had knocked the ball on. Unfortunately for Bradford, they had paused, they had showed that hesitation, and that was their undoing, because Doncaster played to the whistle. And to be fair, watching Eddie Ngebe's reaction, he was expecting scrub, head and feed to Bradford. Nothing wrong with Luke Briscoe getting the ball down in the corner. Bradford just have to dust themselves off. But you've just seen those battling qualities, those fighting qualities, what Doncaster bring here. And it's a chance for Connor Robinson. Kick predictor's only at 60%. He was 5 from 5 last week against London. But that looks good from the touchline. No, it doesn't. It's just gone wide at the last moment. Oh, it could be one of those games this afternoon where it does come down to kicking. The pleasing thing for Richard Horn and Doncaster, a rare attacking raid in that Bradford half of the field, has seen them come up with their first points and their first try. We've had 21 minutes gone on the clock here. First quarter done and dusted. Doncaster 4, Bradford 10. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com. Syndicated coverage on Bulls TV. We're back underway here via the whistle of Scott Michalauskas. James Meadows into the in-goal area. Doncaster trapped the ball with Watson Bowers, picked up by McConnell. McConnell immediately swarmed upon by Suter and Michael. So Kieran Gill off injured, James Donaldson also off injured. Bradford's interchange options currently limited to Emmanuel Waney and Eben Skur, who are the only players who Bradford currently have available. I'm sure Brian Noble, Lee Greenwood and Keith Senior will be doing their best to assess James Donaldson and Kieran Gill, but it's looking already, with the first quarter done, Bradford might just have to show some resilience, some resolve, some solidity here and really, really grind out this performance and what should be, in their eyes, a 7th straight win. Doncaster will have a say about that as Robinson on the last, kicks straight down to Okinbaugh. Sydney born Jaden Okinbaugh is body slammed there by Sui Matagi and Greg Burns, and now Joe Keys moves the ball over on the left hand side here with Fulton. Ronan Michaels looking for the ball, looking for some action, but it's gone the other side on that left hand edge with Matty G, who's up to halfway, tackle free. Michael Lawrence, 15th appearance of the season for him. He made 15 appearances in the whole of 2024, so what a season Michael Lawrence is having as Meadows now draws in the defence to Fulton. Fulton looks and plots a course, but he can't get past those three defenders, Sam Smeet and Greg Burns, the two marker defenders. Bradford 20 out from the Doncaster line on the last. Crossfield kick. Craig Hall lost the ball. It's got into touch. Bradford will have possession here, and that will be... Well, Scott Michalauskas is going to stop the clock here. Which way is the decision going? He's stopped the clock, Mr. Michalauskas. And the decision's going to be... Well, the boos and jeers from the Bradford faithful will tell you that has gone the way of Doncaster. So, 23 minutes gone here. Well, Craig Hall did touch the ball last when it went into touch. You can only assume when Scott Michalauskas has gone over to the touch judge on the far stand side, the touch judge has said it touched a Bradford hand first. Doncaster 4, Bradford 10 here. Doncaster 20 away from their own line here. It's been a great energy to this one. A real good battle between two very proud, stoic championship sides as we see Briscoe play the ball just shy of halfway. And here goes Tyler Heppy now, and he's wrapped up on tackle 4. Jordan Lilly going through a lot of defence. Ronan Michael involved in that one. Burns. Now it's going to go to Will Gardiner. Made 2 appearances for Featherstone, 2 for Hull FC this season. On dual reg from the Early Birds, and he'll play the ball on the last. It goes back to halfway with Craig Hall. Hall down the throat there of Meadows. Meadows didn't quite fancy running the ball in on Connor Robinson, Louis McConnell and Watson Bowers, so decides to give the ball to Guy Armitage, who lays the groundwork, and that Bradford attacking platform on this fresh set of 6 as they are now 20 metres out from their own try line as we see Eben Skur come on for Logan Bayliss. And here goes Eben Skur strapping on that right thigh. He's brought down 20 shy of halfway. Another quick play of the ball, and that allows Suter to go sniping. Pass on the outside towards Lawrence. Lawrence wrapped up there. Good defence from Jacob Jones. Last tackle for Bradford. You're just seeing that momentum and that pendulum swing just ever so slightly go and turn in favour of Richard Horn's Doncaster side as Lilly kicks into space. Briscoe, his 3rd try of the season on his 10th appearance. The former Leeds Featherstone man carries it in from that kick from Lilly on tackle 1, and now Bradford have conceded a penalty. Well, Bradford just want to play smart here. They lead by 10 points to 4. It's a 3rd penalty of the afternoon that's gone the way of Doncaster, and it's Skur and Hallis who have been penalised for not releasing Luke Briscoe, who wanted to get a quick play of the ball. And the penalty's awarded to Doncaster on their own 20-metre line. And when Brian Noble mentioned that post-witness review, you know, it showed that there's certainly things that Bradford could have done better, and that is what Brian Noble expects his side to do today. Learn from those mistakes, that self-harm that has harmed the Bulls in a few games this season, especially in the first halves against Sheffield in League and Cup and Widnes last week. But you know, again, it highlights the importance of that high completion rate, building that pressure, and the points will come scenario. Well, now Bradford forced to do more defending here. We're heading towards half-time as Watson Boas floats it out towards Riesling. Riesling's 25 out from the Bradford try line, wrapped up there by that makeshift left edge of Fulton and Armitage, and that's now where they're going to go with Watson Boas, and Boas is going to be brought down under pressure there from Guy Armitage, and Fulton again, and the PNG gets to his feet. He'll play the ball. Watson Boas moves it across the face of the post here with Robinson to Hall. Hall kicks for Adine Gebe, and Adine Gebe, oh, we're talking millimetres, but Adine Gebe, he will be adjudged to have ground the ball cleanly with millimetres to go between the ball, the downward pressure, and that dead ball line. 2 tries in quick succession from Richard Horne's side. 27 minutes gone in this game. It's right on this main stand touchline, and that was clever thinking there from Craig Hall. He just looked up, he realised that Okinmore Blake were ever so slightly out and a little bit stray from their position. And Adine Gebe, on his 11th appearance of the season, has try number 11 of the season. The 29-year-old former PNG Hunters man, he had 10 tries from 16 appearances with Whitehaven last season. He is a former South Sydney West Tigers utility back. He brings a lot of value and energy, plus the size and the power element to Richard Horne's 2025 Doncaster squad. And oh boy, there was literally millimetres to go, and that was clever thinking from Craig Hall. He just had a little bit of a look up there, did Hall, and realised Blake and Okinmore, there was a little bit of space to exploit. Kick predictor here for Connor Robinson. It's only saying 52%. It is right on this main stand touchline. He'll take it with the left boot, and that will just go straight between the paws. Immaculate goal kick there from Connor Robinson. We're all locked up. Strap yourselves in. It's Doncaster 10, Bradford 10. Everything we said about this game is coming to fruition. No easy games in the Championship. Blake and Lillett with those early tries, giving Bradford the 10-0 lead. It's now 10 unanswered points and 2 tries in quick succession from the Doncaster Dons. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com. Doncaster 10, Bradford 10. Oh, this one's bubbling nicely here at the Eco Power in front of Doncaster's biggest crowd of the season. Well, how much effect are those 2 injuries to James Donaldson and Kieran Gill going to have on proceedings? Bradford just the 2 interchange options. So Doncaster will have that energy game. They are on the restart here with Greg Burns. 20 shy of halfway as Watson Boas now goes past Ronan Michael, but Lily comes in and aids Michael, the Island international, to wrap up Watson Boas, the former PNG Hunters teammate of Emmanuel Waney. 10 shy of halfway, and fresh after scoring their second try. They're on the last tackle here, looking for more points as Craig Hall once again boots a ball. That's gone straight out on the full though. That is a bit of a clanger there from Craig Hall. He doesn't make many, doesn't the 37-year-old. Doncaster's 4th error in this game. And we've got to say, when we're looking at the stats here, Bradford just the 1 error thus far, but they have conceded a set restart and 3 penalties. And it's that area, that aspect of Bradford's game, that self-harm. You simply cannot give any Championship side repeat possessions from ill discipline. We've got exactly 10 to go to half-time here. This one bubbling nicely. Michael Lawrence carries Bradford 15 metres into the Doncaster half of the field. Now it's going to go from Suter to Keys to Lilly. It's been a good 10-15 minutes since Bradford were down here, but that's great play there between G and Keys, the 2 former Halifax men combined. Lilly's kicked early. Not sure what Jordan Lilly saw there, because Okinmore and Blake couldn't get to the ball before Adine Gebe. And that was a little bit kamikaze stuff there from Jordan Lilly, if truth be told. Very early in the tackle count. Clearly played something that he saw, but Doncaster clearly doing the homework and the review. So they're back in possession here. Chance gone begging there for the Bulls. And just when you think about Bradford not having any possession or territory, kicking early and not coming up with anything, absolutely criminal, one might say. Doncaster 10, Bradford 10. Blake, Fulton for the Bulls, Briscoe, Gebbe for Doncaster. Good defence though from Michael Lawrence, Mitch Suter. Doncaster still 20 out from their own try line here, and they're going to move the ball straight down the middle here with Tyler Heppy. He had 4 seasons in Toulouse before his move to Castleford. Last tackle for Doncaster. Connor Robinson put under pressure by Mitch Suter. Suter does well. That allows Robinson to skew the kick straight into Guy Armitage, and Guy Armitage is up and away, and Guy Armitage is brought down 20 metres in from the far stand side, 40 away from the Doncaster line, and now Lilly's got it in centre field. It's gone towards Blake. Blake wasn't expecting the ball there from Lilly, and Blake's wrapped up. 30 out. Bradford, a good platform to build here. They just need to be a bit more calmer, a bit more smart with ball in hand as Ronan Michael is wrapped up. 25 out. Dead set centre field. Suter acting half. It goes to Keys as Keys goes through a gap, but Hall just come across at the 11th hour and slammed the door shut. Tackle 4 gone for Bradford. The 10 away in front of the post now. Skur, Lilly, Blake wrapped up. Still 10 away from the line on what is now the 5th and last tackle. Meadows to Michael. Power play move from Ronan Michael. It is the wrong option from Bradford on that occasion. They were calling for it in centre field. Meadows, both arms in the air. I'm sure Brian Noble, though, will be pleased. It was a clean set of 6, and they have turned over possession 5 away from the Doncaster line. But it was a very, very flat end of set. So Doncaster 10, Bradford 10. Doncaster still without Beretta Farimo and Josh Bowden. Tom Holmes, George Tafua for the Bulls. Not seen young Logan Moy come on the field yet, but he might just be the difference with the speed, the dexterity. Bradford, it's like an episode of Holby City and Casualty with Donaldson and Gill. We'll try our best to get an update at half-time, but here goes Reece Lynn, the captain of Doncaster, straight out of acting half. From that play, the ball on the 40. He's up to halfway here, and he's finally lassoed down on halfway by Lawrence and Hallis. Last tackle here for the Bulls. It's going to be Robinson, who drills it off for Wonga Blake. They've got possession back. It wasn't played at. Robinson kicks the ball out on the full. That's going to give Bradford a very, very narrow advantage, and it remains Doncaster 10, Bradford 10, 5 minutes to go to half-time. Well, the tale of the tape in a historical sense makes grim reading for Doncaster when it comes to previous games against Bradford. Bradford have won their last 14 meetings with Doncaster, including the last 7 away games here in Doncaster. They already met once this season at Odsal in the Challenge Cup, Bradford winning that one by 30 points to 4. Doncaster's last win against Bradford, April 1973, 18 points to 7 at Tattersfield. Keys now 10 inside the Doncaster half, links with Meadows. The 2 Cockney Rebels send makeshift centre Fulton away on that left hand edge. They're now inside the Doncaster 30. Those watching on Bulls TV, they can see the brightness, they can see the resplendent sunshine as Eben Skur's brought down on 4. 1 to go on this set as Suter goes out of acting half. There's nobody there. Suter's took the line on, the line's open, but he's passed it to Craig Hall. You can only assume Craig Hall has shouted behind Suter and said, "I'm here, mate." And Doncaster come up with possession. Bradford's 3rd error in this first half. It is Doncaster 10, Bradford 10. And for those asking, and just for context, the last time 52 years ago when Doncaster beat Bradford, a pint of bitter was 11.5 pence, or you could splash out and get a Guinness for 16p, or if you're a non-alcoholic, you could get a pint of milk for 5p. Long time between Doncaster's last win and this afternoon, but Doncaster will fancy their chances against an injury adverse Bradford, who've lost Donaldson and Gill in this first half to injuries. Doncaster 30 metres inside the Bradford half now on the last. They go back to the 40. Blake puts pressure on Robinson. Robinson targets Armitage. ball bounces into touch. Luke Briscoe was chasing that one, but there was just a little bit too much there from Connor Robinson. Well, Brian Noble, when we spoke on Wednesday, making a case for that attack and defence, line drawn on the York defeat, good strong response against Widnes last week. And Brian is still really optimistic at what is being built and what could be achieved at this season. Bradford now having to really roll their sleeves up. The momentum and ascendancy firmly with Doncaster here. Doncaster 7th in the table on 10 points. Referee Scott Michalauskas will stop the clock again. Sui Matagi, I think, has gone down for Doncaster. So the clock will stop. And we have around about 90 seconds to go to half-time here. Bradford 10, Doncaster 10. Just a quick reminder, those two results yesterday in the Championship, Batley 14, Toulouse 30, 10 points apiece at half-time at Mount Pleasant yesterday, and it was London 10, Widnes 12, an 8th straight defeat for the London Broncos. They're in real trouble, severe trouble, potentially heading through the trap door, but at half-time we'll try and give a bit of an update on the latest restructuring proposals. We've mentioned for a few weeks now about League One and Championship being merged. All eyes are on the Super League and what happens with their restructuring. Scott Michalauskas still has the clock stopped here. He's speaking to Michael Lawrence and Sam Smeaton, and not quite sure what happened there in that tackle. But the incident placed on report, no penalty, play the ball to Bradford, and now Bradford come up with the error. Matty G not able to take the ball in, and he slammed the ball down there on the Doncaster turf. Well, you're just seeing a few gremlins appear in Bradford's attacking arsenal here, and Doncaster, they can smell blood. They think it's feeding time. Doncaster 10, Bradford 10. 60 seconds to go at the end of this first half. This will be probably Doncaster's last set in this first half. It's 10 points apiece, remember. It goes to Robinson, to Hall, to Hay, to Gebbe. Gebbe's felled there by Blake and Ockimbo. The 15 out from that Bradford try line. Jones goes in and acting half to Hall, to Robinson. Robinson gives it to Hull FC, Joel Reg, Will Gardner, and Gardner's going to be pushed back past outside the 20 despite Isaac Miskey, who's come on the field for Greg Burns. And here goes Isaac Miskey now straight out of acting half with all that energy and effort, and he's going to be a handful to bring down. There is Isaac Miskey, and the 10 metres out in front of the post here. Doncaster set restart given again, so perhaps this will be a crucial set for Doncaster on Bradford's line. The hooter imminent, seconds to go here. Bradford clinging on at the end of this first half. Watson Boas gives it to Hall, Hall to Lynn. Briscoe comes up with the error, and that is going to be a tap on the 20. Bradford survive. Bullets, numerous bullets. You almost think they're like Neo in the Matrix, how they're having to dodge all these Doncaster bullets, but somehow they've kept their line intact. It is Doncaster 10, Bradford 10 here with the half-time hooter imminent. Zero tackle for Jaden Ockimbo on the zero, because although it looked like it come off the bootlaces of Briscoe, that pass on the floor, he did knock on in the in-goal area. It wouldn't have counted anyway. So here goes Suter, now to Keys. Bradford just moving the ball very conservatively, conserving that energy of feel with that half-time hooter imminent. So we've just hit the 40 minutes on the big screen here at the Eco Power Arena. And as always, we've just found out it's not entirely accurate. So we're into the first minute of added on time. Here goes Suter now. Two Keys. On the left edge to G. To Meadows. Meadows cuts through a gap. Wrapped up and felled there by Watson Bowers from behind. He'll get a quick play the ball in though, will Meadows. Bradford have Doncaster stretch. Keys kicks, looking to find the tall men. Finds one tall man in Blake. Blake palms it back to Ockenbaugh. Ockenbaugh's wrapped up 10 metres out. Last tackle here. Hooter sounds. One final play. Lily, crossfield kick. A la Aussie rules. Looking for Armitage. Finds Armitage. Armitage, has he got it down? No, he hasn't. Scrambling defence on the goal line there from Luke Briscoe at Rees Lane will halt Armitage centimetres away from the Doncaster line. Half time in June. It is the 1st of June 2025, 4 o'clock on West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com. It will be whistle to lip from Scott Michalauskas, Craig Hall, boot to ball. Bradford first use of the ball in this second half. And is that injury adversity, is that going to affect them this afternoon? It's looking almost certainly like James Donaldson is done for the afternoon, and Kieran Gill is still down there on the touchline, I do believe. So Bradford still operating with Zach Fulton in the centres in place of Kieran Gill. So Bradford 3 tackles in to this new set of 6, and they are 20 metres shy of halfway. Suter gets up, plays the ball. Lawrence 10 shy of halfway, tackle 4. Good strong fast start here from the Bulls. You almost feel, when you saw Mitch Suter last week and his energy game, Bradford are going to have to apply the same. They're going to have to use that energy sparingly. Lily on halfway, on the last, boot to ball. Torpedo straight down to Craig Hall, and Craig Hall is going to be wrapped up, or should I say Watson Boas is going to be wrapped up just outside his own 20 metre line. A neat little switch play there from Hall to Boas. Doncaster 10, Bradford 10. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com. 10 shy of halfway here with Briscoe. Robinson out of acting half, up to halfway, 2 metres inside the Bradford half, but Skur, Keys, Lawrence defend well, bring down the Doncaster scrum half. Miskey out of dummy half now to Heppy. Heppy rolled over by Haller, Suter and Michael. Doncaster's first possession in this second half as I'm on tackle 4. Miskey out of acting half to Robinson. Robinson to Jones, and Jacob Jones is wrapped up. That's the last tackle here for Doncaster. All of a sudden they're 20 metres out as Watson Boas dallies with the ball, gives it to Miskey. Miskey to Hall. Hall in front of the post. He's just going to thread one along the surface, and that's great awareness, great reading there by James Meadows, who takes an almighty blood punch of a tackle there from Louis McConnell. And this is where Bradford's forwards on the edges, that momentum that Blake, Armitage and Ockenbaugh can bring to Bradford's game will be absolutely vital. Ockenbaugh's made 20 metres there on tackle 2. Armitage tackle 3. 10 in from touch on this main stand side. 10 shy of halfway. Keys now to Lily. Lily to Skur. Skur's wrapped up there in a 3-man tackle and is on halfway. Bradford on the last. It will be the boot of Jordan Lily, centre field. And that one is just heading into touch, 10 away from the Doncaster line. And this already, you get the feeling right at the start of this second half, Brian Noble has reiterated the importance of being smart, sticking to the game plan, being calm. Well, as we said at the start of this game, Brian is asking and he has called for a greater application and balance from his side in relation to that attack and defence. The attack prior to this game this afternoon, 288 points scored, 78 tries scored. Fair to say Bradford have had their fair share of exciting flair and that execution in attack, but defence, whilst it is the 3rd best defence behind Toulouse and York, Brian Noble is aware that his side can't keep giving opposition sides, good championship sides, starts or ways to come back in games, as we've seen in recent weeks against Sheffield in League and Cup, Widnes last week, and in that first half here Bradford can't afford to do that, because against better and stronger sides, they will put you away. Bradford simply cannot afford to switch off. Doncaster on tackle 4 here with Hepe on halfway. It's going to be Miskey to Boas. Boas 5 inside the Bradford half. Kicks into space ahead of him. Meadows has to come across. Meadows does well there because Boas was chasing his own kick. And look at that from Adine Gebby and Boas and Reece Lynn. They're all doing the hand actions. Energy. And right at the start of this second half, Bradford now are broken clear on that far stand side with Wonga Blake. Blake's wrapped up by Robinson and Hay. It was a high-risk play. The pass is stuck. And now here goes Ronan Michael, the former York man. Started life out with the Irish Longhorns. Lilly now out of acting half. 5 inside the Doncaster half. 4 Doncaster players wrapping up Jordan Lilly. He's going to feel a little bit sore in the morning, Lilly. Suter, Hallis, route 1 down the middle here from Hallis. Bradford 30 metres out from the Doncaster line. Centre field, they're on the last. It's West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, Bulls TV. Keys, high hanging kick. Targets Briscoe. Briscoe wrapped up ball and all by Fulton and G. And he's gone down here as Luke Briscoe. Scott Michalauskas is going to stop the clock. And I think if anybody was going to be brought down by Bradford's big back row units of G and Fulton, you're going to get up a little bit gingerly. So referee Scott Michalauskas once again stopping the clock for this injury. Doncaster team news, one change to their side this afternoon. We've not seen him yet, but 19-year-old teenage sensation from the early birds, Logan Moy, will play a part at some point in this second half. He comes in for Brad Fash. Bradford 2 changes made. Meadows for Hooley, who took a knock late on this week, and it's Emmanuel Waney for Nathan Mason. Bradford 10, Doncaster 10 here. Wherever you're listening this afternoon, I hope you're enjoying the coverage. Once again, we do get a rare weekend off next week because it is the Challenge Cup and the 1895, so it'll be a week on Friday when we're back. Bradford against York. The second instalment of 3. So Luke Briscoe's been given the all clear to continue. Doncaster are going to play the ball. 20 out from their own try line. Robinson moves it over on the left towards Jacob Jones. Jones is wrapped up. Oh, this is very, very clever play here from the Bulls because they've wrapped up Jones, and Robinson has to go in and act in half here because there was no Doncaster player around. So that kick will go straight down the throat there of Meadows, and Meadows takes it from the 20, wrapped up 5 shy of halfway, and all of a sudden Bradford, you just feel, just trying at the start of this second half to get that momentum and pendulum swing ever so slightly towards their favour. And here goes Suter, sniping and scootering out of acting half, wrapped up there by McConnell and Miskey. They're literally 20 away now from that line as Keys looks for those rilling runners, finds one in Fulton. He's trying that first half, a real eye-catching one. And Bradford now have lost the ball. It's gone backwards. It's picked up by Skur. Skur has got possession here. Tackle completed. Well, Scott Michalauskas drawing the frustration of the 1,200 Bull supporters behind the post there. Skur Gorup is saying the Doncaster player had released him. Bradford still in possession. Now it's going to be Keys inside that 20 with G, and Matty G, that's a very, very strong carry. He'll carry Bradford 10 out centre field, and they're on the last tackle here. Suter has options to the left, goes left, finds Keys. Keys, chip, targets Briscoe. Briscoe's dropped the ball, and Zach Fulton's got it down. It's a double for Zach Fulton, and that is what Joe Keys brings to Bradford's kicking arsenal. A proven player at championship level, one of the standout halfbacks in 2024 with the Halifax Panthers, and Keys believes that positive culture that is being created at the club is crucial to fostering and blooding that success. And it is Joe Keys who's come up with a try assist right at the start of this second half. He targeted Luke Briscoe. Briscoe knocking the ball on, coming up with an error in the in-goal area, and it was take your pick. It was either G or Fulton. Whoever got there quickest, fastest finger first, they are through to the hot seat to potentially win the £1 million. In the end, it's Fulton, second try, and it's a crucial one for Bradford. There's no Kieran Gill, no James Donaldson, and Zach Fulton, he'll enjoy that one. Well, very, very early to call man of the match performances, but Fulton, Keys will almost certainly be in there. Very, very clever play from Joe Keys. Second spell at Bradford after 3 seasons, up to 2019 where he scored 430 points. Meadows has taken over the goal, kicking from Jordan Lilly. Meadows, it's horrible, it's wide. It means the scoreboard remains Doncaster 10, Bradford 14. We're in the 47th minute here, right at the start of this second half. And just like Bradford did to start proceedings this afternoon, they have scored and got first blood right at the start of the second half. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, syndicated coverage on Bulls TV. Those watching on Bulls TV, the coverage sponsored by First Bradford. Oh, well, we've seen this play before. Meadows is not the ball on. Doncaster have a player down, and Bradford, well, it's got Michalauskas is saying play on here. Well, the Doncaster coaching staff can't quite believe what's happened. Meadows is saying the ball's come off the foot. Doncaster players looking a little bit perplexed by that decision. And now there's a huge, huge question mark over whether or not Brad Knowles can continue, because he's down in a heap 20 metres out, right in front of the Bradford supporters, right in front of the Bradford post. Meadows had played to the whistle. There was no whistle from the officials, and he has possession on the restart. 25 shy of halfway. So we have the delay here. Can Brad Knowles continue? The doctor for Doncaster is giving him a thorough check-up here. Well, the supporters are getting a little bit frustrated. Brad Knowles, it's looking like he can just about continue. So that will please Richard Horn. But perhaps there was a little bit of smartness on that try to Fulton. It was only moments earlier Luke Briscoe had been absolutely legally cleaned up by G and Fulton. Perhaps there was a little bit of concussion or something that Keys had seen on his radar, and that's why he targeted him. Good tackle here from Biscuit on Mitch Souter on halfway. Bradford on the last tackle now with Hallis, 5 inside the Doncaster half, and they're in the centre field position once again. They're going to go on the left hand side now to Keys. Keys, high, hanging kick, catches the wind. Souter chasing this one, so too Blake. It's a lottery. Michael just couldn't get there. Robinson pinches it, and here goes Adine Gebbe. He pins back the ears, and Adine Gebbe is going to go towards the corner. Adine Gebbe! Oh, what a try from the PNG winger! Bradford, they put the ball upon the last. It was a lottery. Was it Michael? Was it Blake? Robinson got the ball. They've moved it right on that left-hand edge. And Adine Gebbe, he matches Fulton with a double. We're locked up here at the Eco Power Arena. We're in the 50th minute, and we're locked up at 14 points apiece. Well, it's unbelievable. Adine Gebbe there. We mentioned what he did at Whitehaven last season. 16 tries in 10 appearances. He's now up to 12 tries in 11 appearances for Doncaster. He scored 2 last week against London, another 2 a brace. He scored 4 in his last 2, and that was a valiant chase back from Michael Lawrence. Michael Lawrence, let me tell you, he's chased Adine Gebbe back. and forced the try to be scored right in that corner. So captain's not there from Michael Lawrence, probably realising that the chance was gone. It was all about putting that pressure on. Connor Robinson presented with the chance now to take Doncaster in front for the first time this afternoon. Doncaster looking for their first win over Bradford since 1973. Robinson with the left boot will give Doncaster the lead for the first time this afternoon. Listen to the cheers from this big Doncaster home support at the Eco Power Arena. It is Doncaster 16, Bradford 14. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com. You're listening to the sounds and tones of Mick the Game Caller Gledall. Meadows, boot to ball. Restart taken on the full there by Hall. Hall to Hay. Hay tackle one. Slow, scrappy. Play the ball. As we see Doncaster outside of their own 20-metre line on tackle number 2. Here goes Will Gardner, a former West Hull junior. He made 18 appearances for Hull FC last season. Now on dual reg here in South Yorkshire with Championship side Doncaster. Doncaster on the restart on tackle 3, incidentally. Isaac Miskey gives it to Hall. Hall kicks on tackle 4. Straight down the throat of Meadows. Meadows, kick return. Up to Bradford's 40-metre line. Good kick return there from James Meadows. Souter acting half to Ockenbaugh. Tackle 2 on halfway. Jaden Ockenbaugh, 6 tries this season. Mitch Souter also with 6 tries. Wins Bradford's first set restart of the afternoon because Isaac Miskey and Sam Smeaton were not square. Skerr leaves the field for Emmanuel Wainett, who comes on for his 5th appearance of the season. And Bradford going down the middle of the field here with Logan Bayliss. Watson, Boas, Igus, Miskey bringing down the former Brisbane Broncos man. Keys is inside the 20. Keys dancing, can't get past Hall, can't get past Boas. They're 5 metres out now, Bradford, in the red, amber and black alternative jersey this afternoon, as we see Logan Bayliss wrapped up on tackle 4. They're still 5 metres out, 5 to the left hand side of the post, and Mitch Souter is just going to ghost over. Oh, we're going to call Mitch Souter the ghost, because Doncaster, they did not see him, and not for the first time this season. The irrepressive running skills and qualities of Mitch Souter have been a thorn in those championship opposition defences. Well, what on earth was going on there in that Doncaster defensive line? It was an almighty gap. It was on tackle 4, and Mitch Souter, well, we just said moments ago he was on try number 6. He's now on try number 7. He brings that energy game, that ruck speed. He targets those tired defences. Well, Richard Horn will be surely disappointed with how soft that one was. A chance now for Bradford to go 4 points in front. Well, it's a who's who of goal kicking here at the Keepmoat Stadium this afternoon, because it was Lilly, he suffered that injury, then it was Meadows, and now it is Joe Keys. Joe Keys has not kicked for Bradford since that Challenge Cup game against Castleford. He's 2 from 5 for the season. He's 1 from 1 this afternoon. Souter's try converted underneath the post. Doncaster 16, Bradford 20. We're slowly heading towards that hour mark here at the Keepmoat Stadium. Well, I've just said the Keepmoat Stadium, it's now the Eco Power Arena. It is West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com. Once again, syndicated coverage going here, there and everywhere in the Championship. That try was scored in the 55th minute, 25 to go here. And we have just seen the introduction on his Doncaster debut of young Logan Moy. He comes on the field, and let me tell you, Bradford, I'm sure, will have done their homework on the young 19-year-old, because he has speed, he has that dexterity. He will be a threat as Emmanuel Werney on the restart carries Bradford 15 shy of halfway. Brad Knowles all over Emmanuel Werney. No penalty set restart forthcoming, but look at that drive there from Ronan Michael on halfway, tackle for Bradford, looking reinvigorated and energised after those points from Mitch Souter. Lawrence, 5 inside the Doncaster half. That will please Brian Noble, because they've made it right to the end of the set after points, as Keys kicks into space between Moy and Briscoe, targets Briscoe. Too much on that one from Keys. Crucial extra tackle coming up. 7 tackles sent here for Doncaster, and it is quickly being taken, and Watson Bowers is away, and now it's Bowers against Meadows. Bowers, oh, he's felled there by Armitage. Armitage comes from behind. Surely the tackle's complete. The officials say no. Bradford have to scramble back. Oh, well, that looked like Armitage had wrapped Bowers up, but the officials saying play on. More boos and jeers from the Bradford supporters as Logan Moy goes short side to Lynn. Lynn's inside the Bradford 20. He's got a front up, brought down there by Souter. Michael, they're the A and B defenders. And Doncaster 3 tackles to go here as Will Gardner now takes on that marker defence. But Werney and Souter say no. Door slammed shut. Miske to Robinson to Moy. Logan Moy just on the field. We mentioned that dexterity and pace and presence, and Logan Moy goes around and underneath the post. It's delight for the Doncaster Dons. The Bradford supporters shocked into silence. His last appearance for Hull was 2 months ago in April in that win over Warrington. Logan Moy has been playing in the reserves ever since, but he's been given a chance to impress in the Championship. And Richard Horn, he will be pleased and delighted that his vindication, his decision to bring Logan Moy to Doncaster at this stage of the game has paid some dividends. Robinson from in front. We almost suspect Doncaster are about to go back in front. It's 20 points apiece at the minute. We're in the 57th minute. Well, this game has just about had everything. Let me tell you, I might be controversial when I say this, but I personally prefer the tight 12, 10s, 12, 8 types of games rather than these big scores. We've already had 8 tries, 8 fantastic tries. Kick predictors at 100% here. Connor Robinson, a studying concentration with the left boot, drills that into the stand. That has the 1,200 Bradford fans in, and it is Doncaster 22, Bradford 20. 30 seconds away from the hour mark here. Bradford are going to have to dig deep here. It is going to be a Herculean effort. No Kieran Gill. No James Donaldson. No Jordan Lilly, who had to leave the field with his injury. It's looking like the sole player who's available to come on for Bradford in the last 20 minutes is Eben Skirt. Well, this probably, if it is win number 7 for Bradford, this probably is going to be the pick of the bunch you would suspect from Brian Noble. 22-20. 20 minutes to go. The famous strap line might be coming out to play once again. Doncaster on the restart. Sue Matagi back on the field here. Big physical presence for the former New Zealand Warriors and Huddersfield prop forward, gets to his feet, he'll play the ball. Brad Knowles down the middle, fronts up to Lawrence, wrapped up there by Wayne Bayliss. Doncaster on the last, centre field. It is going to be Watson Bowers, a high hanging kick, targets Meadows. Meadows takes it on the full, turns defence into attack, but he's immediately wrapped up there by Jacob Jones over on that left hand edge. Oh, Sui Matagi's gone straight into the chest there of Jaden Okinbaugh, and it's Doncaster 22, Bradford 20. Brian Noble will not be pleased with that defence, let me tell you. We mentioned it's the third best behind Toulouse and York, but as we've seen in recent weeks, you can't afford to switch off because the better, stronger sides come back to haunt you. Blake's on halfway with Bradford. Suter acting half now to Hallis. Hallis, Wayne draws in the defence. Back to Hallis. Bradford standing still. No one expected that. Here goes Logan Bayliss though. He does well in a poor situation. And Bradford on the last. Keys out of acting half. Kicks towards touch. Turns around Doncaster. And here is Logan Moy. Well, it's a debut to remember for the young 19-year-old. He's made 8 appearances for Hull FC this season. Clearly, Mr. Cartwright doesn't quite see him there yet. And judging by Hull FC's performance against Catalans yesterday, 34 points to 0 in the south of France, you can probably make a valid point. Clock is stopped here once again. Adine Gebbe, who has scored 2 tries against Bradford in this game, just receiving a bit of treatment. 18.5 minutes to go here. Doncaster 22, Bradford 20. Briscoe, a brace to Gebbe and Moy, the try scorers for Doncaster. The quartet for Bradford, Blake, Suter and a brace for Fulton. Oh, how's the nerves? I think we can say we are going to go the distance once again on West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com and Bulls TV. We said before the game this one should be box office, and it's delivering. Bradford do well, restricting Doncaster just shy of halfway. The kick will come in from Connor Robinson, and once again James Meadows, Bradford's last line of defence there, having to return the ball into Sui Matagi and Jacob Jones. Sam Smeaton also involved in that tackle. Here goes Wonga Blake, tackle 2, 25 shy of halfway. Wonga Blake just being held down in the tackle there. No real tempo or pace to the ruck. Scott Michalauskas, very similar to his performance in the Good Friday game at Halifax, not giving much to either sides, letting the sides play out. Bradford on halfway here now with G. Suter, short side to Keys. Keys down the touchline. It's going to be Logan Moy who just lets that one go into touch. They're saying he's touched it as Logan Moy, and the touch judge will say this is Bradford ball, is it? We'll wait and see what happens. Well, Scott Michalauskas is a big decision here to be made. Is he going to say Logan Moy has touched it? He says no. Well, Joe Keys was very, very animated there. So Doncaster from their own 10-metre line, play the ball. Adine Gebbe, tackle 1. Now it's going to be Riesling, tackle 2. 11 seasons at Wakefield. Played in the England Knights team with Michael Lawrence. And here we go. Logan Bayliss has forced Riesling into an error. 8th error of the afternoon for Doncaster. And Bradford now a scrum 25 metres out. Centre field. The nerves, the tension. Here we go. What can Bradford do? They've not had too much ball down in the Doncaster half in this second half. They have the scrum. Keys from the base. Goes right, goes left. Keys has opportunities. gives it to Fulton, and Fulton will just front up into Smeaton and Lynn. Bradford tackle 1, 20 away. It's Doncaster 22, Bradford 20. We've just seen some exceptional defence there from Logan Bayliss, forcing the pressure on Reece Link to make the error as he played the ball. Here goes Hallis inside the 10 to Logan Bayliss. 2 tries this season, opened the scoring against Widnes last week, laying the platform. Suter to Lawrence. Lawrence 4 metres away from that Doncaster line. Suter's in an acting half. Will he snipe again? No, he won't. He'll give it to Emmanuel Waney, and Waney is held up 2 metres shy. Bradford try to run it in with the Wayne train on the power play. It is the last tackle. Crossfield kick from Keys. Okinbaugh pushed into touch. Okinbaugh took the ball in, but he was just given a little bit of a nudge by Luke Briscoe, and Bradford turn over the ball 10 metres out from that Doncaster try line. We're heading towards the end game here. We've got 14 minutes to go. It is Doncaster 22, Bradford 20, and despite this resplendent sunshine and 20-degree temperatures here in South Yorkshire, we do have a very ominous looking grey cloud which has forced the floodlights to come on here. Doncaster just making their 7th interchange of the afternoon. Greg Burns back on the field for Isaac Miskett, so the 26-year-old replaced by the 30-year-old who scored Doncaster's only points against Bradford in the Challenge Cup when they met in January. Knowles on the last tackle, gives it towards Robinson. Robinson downtown, and that is a clever kick from Connor Robinson. James Meadows could have taken it 20 away from his own line. He gambled that it might just go the right side of the flag for Bradford, and an extra tackle set on the 20, but it went the wrong side, and the gamble there from Meadows lost. You could equally argue he was playing very smart, conservatively. Bradford, though, are 90 metres away now on tackle 1, with Jaden Okinbaugh away from that Doncaster line, and they trail 22 points to 20. Well, goal kicking for Bradford hasn't really been an issue much, not recently, but you look at this afternoon, Lilly missed one, Meadows missed one. That could come back to haunt them. Very unfair and cruel to pinpoint and target that goal kicking, let me tell you. A very, very difficult swirling wind here this afternoon as Suter's up to halfway now, wrapped up by Smeaton and Burns. Meadows to Keys. Keys 5 inside the Doncaster half. High hanging kick on the last. Logan Moy takes it, skips past G, tries to go past Fulton, ducks under Fulton. Fulton and Sker wrap him up, and Eben Sker's just come on the field here for Emmanuel Waney. And if this game, or should I say, if you were to analyse this game at this stage, you are probably saying Doncaster hold the upper hand because of the bodies available to interchange. This is putting immense pressure on Bradford's energy. They are chasing the game at 22 points to 20. Just over 10 to go here at the Eco Power Arena, with Dean Gebby playing the ball on halfway. Burns to Briscoe. Briscoe wrapped up 5 inside the Doncaster half. 5th and last tackle, says Scott Michalowskis. Burns is going to go left to Robinson once again. Robinson on the power play, floats the ball out wide to Jacob Jones, to Hay, to Gebby, who's on for the hat-trick. Gebby floats it back inside to Robinson. Oh, Joe Keys has picked the pocket there of Robinson, and Keys is away. He's wrapped up on his own 30-metre line. No Doncaster players are back. Scott Michalowski's playing an advantage as Guy Armitage is wrapped up 10 shy of halfway, and there's the penalty. There was no Doncaster players back. It was the speed from Keys, then it was Armitage. That's only Bradford's second penalty this afternoon. 3 penalties to 2. It's the only penalty in this second half. and we've got 10 minutes to go. What a play there from Joe Keys. Keys will tap the ball on the Doncaster 40 to Sker, and Eben Sker's rolled over. 35 away from that Doncaster line. Bradford, very similar to what they had to do here last season, rolling the sleeves up and having to show that resolve and those energy reserves. They're really having to put in a gutsy display as Bayliss is brought down, tackle 2, Suter to Keys, Keys to G. G's wrapped up, 15 out, centre field. It's Doncaster 22, Bradford 20, as it now goes from Suter to Sker, and Sker's rolled over, 8 away. There's still 2 tackles left here for Bradford. Suter in front of the post to Keys. Keys drops the shoulder, pirouettes towards the line. Burns slams the door shut. Bradford 5 metres out. It's going to go to Hallis, to Meadows, to Blake. They're in at the corner. Jaden Okimbo has crossed in at the corner. Bradford had suffocated Doncaster down the middle, and Jaden Okimbo has swung that big pendulum back in the way and back in the favour of the Bradford Bulls. There's 9 minutes to go here. Strap yourselves in. We are going the distance. The crispness, the calmness of that passing movement. Keys laid the platform again. He drew 3 defenders in underneath the post. Bradford knew left or right, numbers are narrow, numbers are skinny. They decided to go towards Blake, towards Okimbo, and if truth be told, very, very similar to Wonga Blake's opening score for Bradford. It could have been Blake or Okimbo who crossed out wide because the sliding defence of Doncaster could not shift over in time. This has been a very, very special game of rugby league this afternoon, let me tell you. 9 tries, 5-4. Bradford looking to keep pace with league leaders Toulouse, who beat Batley yesterday by 30 points to 14. The rain absolutely pelting down on the stadium roof. Kick on the far stand touchline, kick predictor, it's at 38%. Can Joe Keys roll back the years? It's wide. Bradford have a narrow lead, the narrowest of advantages with 8 to go. It's Bradford Bulls 24, Doncaster 22. Good afternoon to Natalie, who's listening with her mum this afternoon. Also to Dan, Lang and Kylie. Wherever you are in the world, the 1,200 Bradford fans behind the posts, they're the ones making all the noise. There's 8 minutes to go here. It'll be Logan Moy who gets the restart back underway. It is West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com. Also syndicated coverage on Bulls TV and the U's and R's. And because Sker has gone straight to Sui Matagi and Sam Smeaton, and now Bradford have a spring in the step, and here goes Matty G. G wants a quick play the bowling. Reece Ling holding on for dear life. Suter snipes and darts straight out of acting half. Bradford on tackle 3. They're already on the restart. Where's this energy come from? From the Bulls. They've lost Lilly, Donaldson and Gilter injury. They've been operating a one-man interchange for the majority of this second half. Fulton now, tackle 3, Bayliss tackle 4, he's wrapped up just outside the Doncaster 30. It's going to go Suter to Keys. Keys has seen something, kicks towards Moy. Moy takes that one, and Keys and Fulton wrap up Logan Moy. 6 minutes to go here at the Eco Power Arena. Strap yourselves in. We are going the distance on West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com this afternoon, as Doncaster now have to chase the game. It's going to be Briscoe gets to his feet. He'll play the ball 20 out from his own try line. Adine Gebbie, who's coming from the left wing, is now playing like a bulldozing prop forward down the middle, and the PNG International gets another quick play the ball in to try and counteract that energy and the reserves that Bradford are calling on. Well, both coaches, Brian Noble, Richard Orne, are both stood up here. They're feeling the emotion of this game. It's been a very, very special performance from both sides. Doncaster on the last tackle now. Tyler Heppy plays the ball. Robinson will just drill one along the lush surface. The rain, handling errors. Ball handling at an absolute premium here now. Absolute grease stuff on the field as Meadows does well to return that one. Robinson kicking towards Meadows as Blake now goes out of acting half up to halfway. Tackle 2 for the Bulls. 5 to go. 2 points the gap. Well, we'll ask Brian Noble the question: if Bradford hold on, is this the most important win out of the 7 on the row? If it happens, penalty to Bradford now. Doncaster not square, right in front of the post, and look at this here from Michael Lawrence. Michael Lawrence is just telling everybody to keep calm. Keep calm. We're in the final 5 minutes of this game, and it's a chance for Bradford not to go for 2. Joe Keys instead will drill the ball into touch over on the far stand side. 3 penalties apiece. 3 penalties apiece. A very, very low, disciplined performance from both sides. And it almost goes without saying, a try here from Bradford at the very, very least will guarantee them a point. It will be Hallis on tackle number 1. He'll play the ball. Suter now to Emmanuel Waney, who's back on the field for the final moments of this one. It is Doncaster 22, Bradford 24. Suter to Skur. Skur with those big pool table legs takes 4 Doncaster defenders out of the line. Doncaster are stretched once again. Keys has it, and Keys will go in every goal. Just slammed shut. The door slams shut as Keys is wrapped up there by Smeaton, by Lynn and Briscoe, but the whistle of Scott Michalauskas is going to bring everybody back underneath the post. It is a penalty to Bradford. Doncaster offside. Scott Michalauskas is telling Michael Lawrence he has to hurry up and decide what he's doing. They're not going to go for 2 once again. There's 2 minutes to go. Doncaster 22, Bradford 24. Suter now to Emmanuel Waney, and the Wayne train can't get the ball down. The Bradford supporters cheers. A silence by Scott Michalauskas, who says Emmanuel Waney, the PNG international, held up. Bradford once again in no real rush to get things underway. He'll play the ball, will Waney. Now to Keys, to Fulton, to Lawrence. Lawrence in front of the post. 90 seconds to go. Doncaster 22, Bradford 24. Suter to Hallis, back on the inside to Michael. Half gap, half chance there for Ronan Michael. Scored his first try in Bradford colours at Batley 3 weeks ago. Here goes Eben Skur now, and Skur, he will win the game for the Bradford Bulls. Those pool table legs. It is a strong, damaging, dominant, bulldozing run from Bradford's homegrown hero, Eben Skur. His 10th appearance of the season, try number 2 of the season. And will Eben Skur score a more important try than that one? Eben Skur, 10 metres out. He's taken 5 blue-shirted Doncaster defenders over the line with him, and Bradford are going to win this with just seconds to go. An unbelievable effort from the 15 available players out there on the field. As we've headed towards full time, it's actually ended up being 14 players because Bradford have lost Kieran Gill, James Donaldson and Jordan Lilly. It will now be 7 wins on the bounce in the championship. The Doncaster players under the force, absolutely crestfallen as Joe Keys puts the ball between the posts. Well, we said just how important that try was for Bradford. There were seconds left on the clock. Bradford had a number of opportunities to go for 2 points. Brian Noble and Bradford had done the maths. I think they had decided ultimately with that 2 point lead, that 2 point advantage, keep the clock running, keep Doncaster defending, and it is Eben Sker who has come up with the match winning score. Nobody could stop him, and I hope Evan doesn't take offence when I say pool table legs.